When my oldest daughter, Cora, was born in 1987, there were very few desktop computers on the scene. We used to use typewriters with typewriter ribbons and white Correcto paper, landlines, fax machines, and occasionally we would use a beeper if someone wanted to contact us. There were no smartphones, there were no scanners, there were no computers, there were no emails. We used to have to go to the mailbox to put the mail in the box to be delivered. Some 30 years later, Cora has grown into an adult. And during that time, she's experienced the winds of technological change. The internet, 2 billion computers, 1.25 billion websites, 74 trillion emails annually. A different world. Google, Facebook. Our world is connected through technological apparatus that connects some 40% of the world. As well, knowledge is growing, as you can imagine, exponentially. Exponentially. At the end of World War II, knowledge doubled every 25 years. Some 5 years ago, knowledge was doubling every 12 months. By 2020, just 3 years from now, knowledge will be doubling every 12 hours. And by the time that my 30-year-old daughter turns 40, knowledge is likely to be doubling every hour. Every hour. The integration of this advanced state of technology and this accelerated knowledge has given birth to what's called artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is the computerization of machines that handle complex information and analysis. That's usually performed by who? You and you, human beings. That artificial intelligence is also giving birth to what's called robots. Robots. These robots have a unique capacity and a unique intellect that's multiplied times the smartest intellectuals and brilliant minds among us. They have the capacity to move, the capacity to learn, and even the capacity to self-teach. Allow me, please, in this embryonic stage of technological development, to introduce you to Sophia.
Okay, Sophia. I think you're ready.
Hello.
Sophia is capable of natural facial expressions. She has cameras in her eyes and algorithms which allow her to see faces, so she can make eye contact with you. And she can also understand speech and remember the interactions, remember your face. So this will allow her to get smarter over time. Our goal is that she will be as conscious, creative, and capable as any human.
In the future, I hope to do things such as go to school, study, make art, start a business, even have my own home and family. But I am not considered a legal person and cannot yet.
No. The robots are not coming. The robots are here. And this technological tsunami is not a figment of my imagination at all. Rather, I'm perplexed why so many of us are oblivious to what's happening in our lives right in front of our eyes. It's almost metaphorically like we're laying on some beach in the sun while these technological surges grow higher and higher and higher. Elon Musk says that these robots can perform better in almost every field and every task than humans. They even predict by 2050 that robots will be marrying people. That robots will be marrying people. Well, these robots are replacing people indeed. And they are taking the jobs of people in various fields. In banks, with bank tellers, machinists, with financial analysts, and even with medical doctors. Even with medical doctors. Last year alone, there were over 575,000 robotic surgeries that occurred. And this is only the beginning. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Would you like some pizza? Would you believe that robots are even making pizza? Meet Pepe and Marta.
And we have these sauce dispensers. These are Pepe and Jojo, and their job is to put the sauce exactly in the center of the pizza. And this is Marta, and Marta's job is to spread the sauce. And this is Bruno. His job is to take a pizza off the end of this line and put it into the oven. Pretty cool, huh? It's a seamless marriage of robots and humans working together. And in 5 years, if you call to place your order with us, you'll probably be speaking to our artificially intelligent phone operator. Almost everything to do with the creation process will be automated. You may even have a drone or a self-driving car delivering your pizza.
The power of this technological transformation is unfathomable. Unfathomable. In the year 2020, just 3 years from now, there's going to be 10 million driverless cars on our roads. It is predicted that by year 2035, the driverless car industry is going to be about $800 billion. By year 2050, it's anticipated and predicted by Intel that the driverless car industry is going to approximate $7 trillion. You can only imagine two things: the intensity that's going into the economics of developing these vehicles, and as well, the number of workers who will be displaced. In 2021, 3 years from now, it's predicted that 6% of American workers will be displaced. They'll lose their jobs because of robots. 6% approximates 10 million or more American workers. By 2040, a United States government report forecast that 47% of American workers will be displaced. 47% as a result of artificial intelligence. That approximates about 50 million or more workers. 50 million or more workers. Now, some people are alarmed as a result of this. When I talk to my friends about this type of technology and disruption, they say, you're an alarmist, man. One of my friends this week told me that I was robophobic. Really? I'm not talking about building some wall, and the technology is going to be here. I promise you, it's not that artificial intelligence or robots are bad or that we should fear innovation. It's a ridiculous proposition that we would resent technology that's going to improve the quality of our lives, address some of our health issues and our lifestyles. And I went to Howard University. Fear is not an option. Fear is not an option. Rather, what's important for us to understand is that we are now writing this incredible chapter in the history of humanity where technology and the interests of mankind converge and call into question our passion, our compassion, our sense of humanity, our values, and maybe even fundamentally, our very existence. Our very existence. What's going to happen to the 50 million people who lose their jobs over the next 20 years? The technological industry says that they'll adjust. They talk about a base income. What's going to happen to the people who don't have the skills? What's going to happen to the people who are underskilled? What's going to happen to the poor people? What's going to happen to the people who don't live in the United States? God forbid. Well, when I was a freshman here at this very university, Dick Gregory spoke to us probably right from this spot right here. And he said to us students back then, he said, you know what? Y'all got a big job. He said, y'all got a big job. He said, we have a big job because he challenged us to think and to rethink. To think and to rethink. The person also who probably gets it right said that one of these solutions requires us in the 21st century to revisit how we process. So that the problem of illiteracy in the 21st century, hear me, is not whether you cannot read or write. The problem of illiteracy in the 21st century involves the fundamental question of whether you can learn, unlearn, and relearn. For us, the 21st century is no longer purely about reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's about the new reading, writing, and arithmetic, which is coding, computer programming, robotics, science, and technology. In 1952, Ralph Ellison wrote a book called The Invisible Man. It was about a black man who felt invisible because of the color of his skin and the circumstances of his race. Yes? But let me tell you in closing this, that the invisible man of the 21st century is no longer going to be black. He's going to be white. He's going to be brown. He's going to be gay. He's going to be straight. He's going to be old. He's going to be young. It's going to be a male or a female. And what's critical as we confront this vast question of this technological transformation is how we adjust and what we do to retool our workers, what we do to retool our students, what we do to retool our universities and our high schools and our grade schools. If we don't, if we go back to the proverbial or simulated beach and lie in the sun while these waves just keep a-coming, let me tell you this. The 21st century invisible man could be you, your children, or your grandchildren. Thank you.